Well, welcome everyone to the North Gate. How's everybody doing tonight? I almost pulled out a Mark Casto line. Then he gave me the thumbs up about the live stream. So I was like, I'm going to hold that to laugh about on the inside. So, hey, we got a special testimony tonight about the faithfulness of the Father. Okay? So as we get prepared to take up our first fruits offering, we're going to have our speakers tonight. A little bit of a surprise. Some of you weren't expecting it. Probably thought it was one of us three. No, you're getting a special treat tonight. But because of this testimony, they're going to take up the offering as well. So if you can welcome Joe, Brother Joe, Yanish, Strong Like Bull Joe, and Mrs. I forgot your name for a second. Oh my gosh. Malia Yanish. Please welcome the Yanishes. I got all excited and went blank. I'm sorry.
Good evening, good evening. So it's an honor to speak tonight, but it's also first fruits. We were earlier in worship tonight, we were talking about the New Year's prayer meeting we had and decree and all that stuff. Well, one of those prayers will be fulfilled in December. We find out Tuesday what the sex of the baby is, but we prayed for another baby in 2025. That will be fulfilled in December. But with first fruits is, we knew we were having a baby, and we're praying about what she's going to do for work when the third kid comes, and resources for that. And then start of last week, I get a 12% raise. It's in our first fruits decree. So therefore, it's leading into this decree. It's not just words. If you believe it, this stuff does come true. I mean, there's so many testimonies from pastors with the rent for the house, a check coming in the mail to them that they wrote, for Legacy Academy was taking money out of their savings, and the check came in that was covered the check. I mean, it's just, if you believe this stuff, it comes true.
I was just reading the story of Joseph today. I don't know if this is where we get first fruits from, but after Passover, the Lord had asked each family to give the firstborn of each livestock to Him, to as a sacrifice to Him. And He said, every time you do this, tell your children that we do this because the Lord had brought us out of Egypt. And so I just feel like as we bring this special offering tonight, it's a reminder to our legacy that everything that He's brought us out of and what He's bringing us into. So if we can stand.
Wow. That was awesome. Good.
Are we ready? All right, just lift whatever you have, your phone, your cash, your check. Yahweh, as we sow into your kingdom today with our honor and generosity, as your seated sons and daughters, we give with love and honor. We are believing for your fingerprints to be on every area of our lives, with jobs and better jobs, raises and bonuses, debts paid off, checks in the mail, secure investments, scholarships, creative ideas and witty inventions, the start of new businesses, sales and commissions, favorable settlements, estates and inheritances, rebates and returns, gifts and surprises. We will be a family immersed in beloved identity. We will be the builders of the homestead of Ohio and the kingdom of Yahweh. We will properly support our families and the kingdom with our finances. We will sow seeds of honor for the legacy of the next generations. We will be committed to the long path of the promises that Abba has for our homestead. We will be oaks of righteousness that generations to come may play under our shade. We are believing for the love of Abba to be shed abroad in our hearts and our homes to change the world around us. We are believing for our resources, our keys to unlock heaven on earth, so that the kingdoms of this world will become the kingdoms of our God and of His Christ. Thank you, Abba, for the legacy of our kingdom family in the homestead of Mobile. Abba, thank you for meeting all our financial needs that we may have more than enough to give into the kingdom. We are believing for on earth as it is in heaven, in our homestead, in Yeshua's name. Amen.
Yahweh, we just thank you for your faithful people who will sow in tonight. We just ask you just take this offering and multiply it and give it to the people that need it and the resources to where it needs to go, because you already have it laid out. We just ask that your blueprints for this offering are laid out, and we receive an inheritance from it. We just pray that this offering, the people that will bless it, will be blessed even more as they keep on coming and give, that they return 30, 60, 100-fold to them.
Yes.
Not just for them, but for their legacy.
Yeah.
In Yeshua's name, amen. Come and give.
Good job, guys. You can stay up there. That's a night.
Papa Ed says he wants the 90-fold.
Well, I'm going to start because mine kind of sets her piece up that she had. We were talking, on that 16 to 18-hour trip to Alabama and back, however long it takes, so we had some time to put the movie in for the kids, and we were talking and listening to different podcasts and stuff, and what the Lord has been putting on our heart. So I'm going to be in Luke 9, verse 28 through 36. Prophet might kind of hit on this about the Mount of Transfiguration already, but I'm gonna go. It said, 8 days later, Jesus took Peter, Jacob, and John and climbed a high mountain to pray. As he prayed, his face began to glow until the blinding glory streamed from him. A radiant glory illuminated his entire body. His brightness became so intense that it made his clothes blinding white, multiple flashes of lightning. All at once, two men appeared in a glorious splendor, Moses and Elijah. They spoke with Jesus about his soon departure from this world and the things the Father had destined him to accomplish in Jerusalem. We're going to stop right there for a minute. So, the word departure there, the Greek meaning means Exodus. Everybody knows what the book of Exodus. It's coming out of Egypt into the promised land. It's a departure and arrival is the Webster Dictionary of Exodus. It's departures and arrival. So I was just thinking about some of the departures and arrival, or Exodus, whatever, of my story, my life. Departing from alcoholism to self-control.
Yeah.
Arriving in self-control.
That's good, Joe.
Yeah.
Departing from anger into gentleness.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Formless, no identity to a beloved identity. I mean, just the more and more the stories of personal departures and arrival. Now I was thinking, well, as the North Gate, we departed from the Manway to Streetsboro, arrived here. Departed from the old building to this building. Now, when Apostle comes in October, we don't know what we're doing yet. We're departing from this building and going to arrive somewhere. And in our home group, Sarah was talking after, and she got us thinking too, is once we depart from here, wherever we go to have service, watch it be the 61 acres that Apostle prophesied that we would colonize. Wherever you go, watch it add up to that 61 acres. because we're not supposed to be to a building. Jesus said, go 2 by 2 and go make disciples to every 4 corners of the earth. That's not a building. So if we depart from here and do that, I mean, we're just being transfigured even more. I mean, just the 2 people he talked to, Moses and Elijah, about his soon departure. We don't know when we're departing, but 2 people appeared to Jesus to tell him about his soon departure and the fulfillment of what the Father has destined him to accomplish. If we sit still in devotion, and it goes back to the first time I spoke, and order your time, you can hear during your departures and arrival of the Father telling you your accomplishments and what you're destined to, giving you your blueprints. Then we'll skip down to, where did I go? We'll go down to verse 34. While Peter was still speaking, a radiant cloud of glory formed above them and overshadowed them. As the glory cloud enveloped them, they were struck with fear. Then a voice of God's thunder from within the cloud. This is my Son, my beloved one. Listen carefully to all he has to say. When the thunderous voice faded away and the cloud disappeared, Jesus was standing there alone. Peter, Jacob, and John were awestruck, but they did not say a word to anyone about what they've seen. Is when transition or you're about to depart to arrive in something good, we see it all the time. People start shaking and shaking, and things are happening all over this, this family right now. But it's the second time in Scripture, I believe, that you hear God's voice say, "This is my Son, my beloved one." It was at the baptism of Jesus, and now it's at the transfiguration of Jesus. Is Apostle says storms bring amnesia, and people forget everything. But if you look at this, the thunderous cloud, it looked like a storm was coming on the Mount of Transfiguration at this moment. But those guys were still. They heard the voice of the Father again, saying, "This is my Son, the beloved one." To follow his instructions. I mean, when storms are coming now, if you just sit still and know he's God, you'll hear his voice. Yeah. He'll get you through the storm. Yes. It's not run for cover and forget, amnesia style. I mean, I don't know. That's what Apostle says. Storms cause amnesia. But if you sit still and know he's God, you'll hear his voice. Yes. And instructions to get you through. Yeah. If he says, "This is my beloved one," listen carefully to all that he has to say. You'll hear the voice of the Father and Jesus. And then that, and the cliff note here for Scripture 9:35, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are mentioned in this account. The Father spoke, the Son was transfigured, and the Spirit, in the form of a glory cloud, overshadowed those on the mountain. The Father spoke. The Son was transfigured. Why was the Son transfigured? Because he heard and he obeyed. Like Apostle Paul says, hear and obey. When the Father speaks, if you hear and obey, the Son was transfigured. And the Spirit covers you. It protects you. And I was just thinking, with the departures and arrivals and everything, and the book of Exodus with Moses, looking back through our stories, when they left, it was, Miss Jeanette was kind of tiptoeing the line of the message here with how she did that prophetic act, is when they left Egypt, they ran into the Red Sea. There was no plan. they hit the cul-de-sac, as you said. God made a highway for them.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
For them to cross over out of Egypt into the promised land. Then God provided for them with manna, bread from heaven. And I was just thinking, like, we've been on this, doing communion a lot more and learning more reverence of communion, is manna was bread from heaven that fell every day for those in the desert. What about if our manna now in today's is Jesus' body that was broken for us, is what we said. When he departed from the earth to heaven, he left his body for us to be fulfilled in communion. Just that's the New Testament version of manna to me. When you draw close to Jesus, everything fades. He provides, he comforts, he heals, gives life to the dead things. I mean, that is providing. That is, I think, in my own revelation, that's the new manna of, our Exodus or our transfiguration, is just knowing his body and what it represents when we take communion. Can we go to Acts 2, 42? With this new home group session, we've been really doing Acts 2, 42 through 47 a lot. Every believer was devoted to following the teachers of the apostles. Their hearts were mutually linked to one another, sharing communion and coming together regularly for prayer. A deep sense of holy awe swept over everyone, and the apostles performed many miraculous signs and wonders. All the believers were in fellowship as one body, and they shared with one another what they had. Out of generosity, they even sold their assets to distribute the proceeds to those who were in need among them. Daily, they met together in the temple courts and one another's homes to celebrate communion and share meals together with joyful heart and tender humility. They were continually filled with praise to God, enjoying the favor of all the people, and the Lord kept adding to their number daily for those who were coming into the life. With this home group, we decided, you never want to withhold food from a pregnant woman. And it's easier for to snack in here on prayer nights, but like during the home group, eating at 8, 9 o'clock, it's kind of hard for a pregnant woman. So we said, we're going to start off with a meal every home group. So we break bread and have a shared meal with the home group as a little icebreaker type deal. Then we go from there to communion, which leads into prayer, which leads into worship. I mean, and our numbers are adding to, like, we were talking, everybody was like, and no offense, when home group was over, people left. They went home. Like, there's people that just want to stay and hang out and talk about his goodness and other revelation, and we're like, we just keep getting added to. We encourage each other. We're being Josephs, because apostles said we are a Hebrews 4 company, a confident rest, but we are also a Joseph company who brings dreams, who saves people, saves the family, saves the nation. Mm-hmm. Look at his departures and arrival, the pit, to the palace, to the king. I mean, all the things, if you look and go back at the book, is if you take time, like Elder Ashley said, this, it goes with it, and use his eyes as your guidance, and you look through his eyes at the stuff that happens around us, you're like, he's done a lot. And he still is doing, and he still wants to do more. Just the stuff we don't even understand fully in the book yet of the Northgate. Like, I didn't think about the Hebrews 4 company and the Joseph's dreaming. Like, Joseph's name means to add to. If we dream and come into that confident rest to dream and know we're loved by God and know we're beloved, we should add to every situation we are in. The people around us, situations at work, in the community, wherever, we should add to. That's all I got.
I wasn't ready for you to be done yet. Let's give a round of applause to my husband. I wasn't ready. Sorry, guys. I just want to start with honoring pastors, with just even trusting us with y'all, because you guys are a really big deal. Each and every one of you are a really, really big deal, and sometimes trusting us even when we don't yet trust ourselves in these things, and believing in us, and until we believe in ourselves. I want to honor the elders of the house. Thank you, guys. It's an honor to sit here and teach to you. It's kind of crazy. And it's just like a huge deal to us that we get to sit here and speak to every single one of you, and just thinking about like the people who have stood in this pulpit. It's a huge deal. And thinking about the people who sit in these seats every week, it's a really big deal as well. And you guys are just as big of a deal as the people who have stood in the pulpit. And also thinking about how big of a deal are the kids in that back room, and back here, and that we get to sit here and sow seeds into their parents. And it's just a big deal. So it's a huge deal to us. Something that doesn't go with my message, but I was reminded of, Ash, when you were leading prayer, and I feel led to share it. I've never shared it before. I think it was an encounter I had years ago. And sometimes I'm nervous to share these things because it's like, it's personal to me, and then also you just don't know what people will think, but if the Lord's leading you to share it, then it's going to impact somebody. But it was Jesus, and I was inside of Jesus, and we were up on a mountain, and we were looking at the kingdoms of the world, and like simultaneously we just shook our head, and then we turned around and we went and sat on the Father's lap. And it's just like being face to face with him and letting his eyes be your guide was just like, it's so easy to make that like no when you have such a better option. And just to sit with him and rest. You're a big deal, Northgate. You're a really big deal. I wish you could feel the way I feel towards you right now. I wish you could feel the way that Abba feels about you. And I think the more that we start to learn that, we can start to see that in other people. So when I heard that we were getting to speak the weekend before Uncle Bren, first of all, I was like, what? But it's a huge honor, so I felt like I was supposed to go back and listen to the last time that he was here, which was like about 1.5 years ago. And so most of this will be review from his message. But it was just so good, and I was talking to Heaven about it because she was in the car with me when I was listening to it, and I was like, can I just play Uncle Bren's teaching from last time? Because I don't know if y'all got it, but I don't think I got it. And now I'm just like, this is speaking to right where we are right now. So if we can go to Exodus 13, and I would encourage y'all too, if you feel led, like go back and listen to that before he comes, because there are just so many keys for us in that right now. Can always count on my husband to help with the tech stuff. Just go down here.
Right there.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to start in Exodus 13:17. It so happened that after Pharaoh released the people, God didn't lead them by the road through the land of the Philistines, which was the shortest route, for God thought if people encounter war, they'll change their minds and go back to Egypt. He had to lead them in a way that they had never experienced so that they wouldn't turn back. Obscurity is protection. Not knowing the plans for us is good. Obscurity is protection. It is good that we don't fully know his plans for us, but they are good. All right, let's go to verse 18. So God led the people on the wilderness road, looping around the Red Sea. The Israelites left Egypt in military foundation. Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for Joseph had made the Israelites solemnly swear to do it, saying, God will surely hold you accountable. So make sure you bring my bones from here with you. I never knew that they took the bones of Joseph with them into the promised land. Did y'all know that? Because I read it this morning and I was like, what? They took the dreamer with them. Joseph's bones are symbolic of the promises of God for our lives. We carry them with us when our spirits are broken because of unrelenting difficulties, when we feel like we're trapped in an impossible situation with no way out, and when we're trapped in an impossible situation with no way out, just in case you didn't hear it the first time. And when we're wandering seemingly aimlessly through the dry and barren wilderness, and yet because of God's promises, we can know that none of these seasons is the end. God will be faithful because it is who he is. So what if it took 500 years? They made it into the promised land because they carried the dreamer with them. You got to bring the dreamer with you. So with the bones of Joseph, just like so significant, they hung on. It was so significant to them that they hung on to them for, I'm not a scholar. So I think the biggest estimate is 500 years. So I went with that one because it sounded better. But what one generation was unable to recognize, the beauty of the dreamer, was sustenance for the next 500 years. Because the other generation wasn't able to honor it, the generation that was able to honor it, it sustained them for 500 years until they finally got the promise. The stories of his faithfulness to us will sustain those who come behind us. I was just thinking of examples even in the room, I just could hear almost like great-grandchildren almost saying like, I don't know the answer to what you're going through, but I know that, God gave my great-grandma a baby and paid off the adoption. God did this for my family. I was thinking about John and Mary Ellen, I don't know how we're going to get through this, but I know that God's been faithful to my great-grandma, and he gave them a house, and like all these things, all these promises. If you feel like you can't see the goodness in your own life, the promises of the people around you can get you through it. And they can become sustenance for you. Instead of inward gazing, if you look at the people around you and you can see faithfulness in his life, that's a thing that can help you hold on just a little longer. And I just wrote, who are you? You're the treasure, Northgate. Just going off on a little rabbit trail there. Titus loves to dig for treasure. And I was just thinking the other day, I was like, why? I'm like, no, Titus, I can't dig for treasure right now. I don't want to get dirty. We don't have time right now, but why don't we dig for treasure anymore? Because we're too busy, we're too preoccupied. But if you're willing to deal with a little dirt, you're going to find so much treasure in the people around you. And you have to be willing to get a little dirty. Because I'm not perfect, and the people around me aren't perfect. And another rabbit trail, I'm just really proud of you, babe. Okay. They took the dreamer with them, not only in the wilderness, but in the 400-something years they were in bondage, they had the dreamer with them. No matter what you're facing, if you keep the dreamer with you, you will make it into the promise. Every time a new generation arose, the bones were a memorial stone of what God had already done for them. God had made Joseph fruitful through his suffering, and that was a reminder that no matter what you're going through, that you're going to get through it, and you're going to make it to the next thing. I just wrote, a brother's testimony and the testimony of those who have gone before you can get you through things even when you can't see goodness in your story. Look around. I also, another rabbit trail, I just want to honor our parents as well. We aren't who we are without them. And I just felt like that was really important tonight. I don't know why. I don't know if they're watching, but your lineage is so important. All right, let's go to Exodus 14, 1 through 12. Thank you guys for hanging with me. God spoke to Moses, "Tell the Israelites to turn around and make camp at Pi-Hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea. Camp on the shore of the sea opposite Baal-zephon." Sounded French. Oh, thanks for letting me be myself. Pharaoh will think the Israelites are lost. They're confused. The wilderness has closed in on them. Then I'll make Pharaoh's heart stubborn again, and he'll chase after them. And I'll use Pharaoh and his army to put my glory on display. Then the Egyptians will realize that I am God. And that's what happened. When the king of Egypt was told that the people were gone, he and his servants changed their minds. They said, "What have we done? Letting our slave labor go free?" So he had his chariots harnessed up and got his army together. He took 600 of his best chariots with the rest of the Egyptian chariots and their drivers coming along. God made Pharaoh, king of Egypt, stubborn, determined to chase the Israelites as they walked out on him without even looking back. The Egyptians gave chase and caught up with them where they had made camp by the sea, all Pharaoh's horse-drawn chariots and their riders, all his foot soldiers there at Pi-Hahiroth opposite Baal-zephon. I'm almost done. As Pharaoh approached, the Israelites looked up and saw them coming, Egyptians coming at them. They were totally afraid. They cried out in terror to God. They told Moses, "Weren't the cemeteries large enough in Egypt so that you had to take us out of here in the wilderness to die? What have you done to us, taking us out of Egypt? Back in Egypt, didn't we tell you this would happen? Didn't we tell you, leave us alone here in Egypt? We're better off as slaves in Egypt than as corpses in the wilderness." So at this point, they're obeying the word of the Lord, but things are looking scary for them. And it's a pause. This whole time I've been trying to prepare this, the word has been the pause. Instead of the transition, it's been the pause. But tonight he showed me it's the rest. So they were in a place of rest, and it looked like their enemies were catching up to them. This is just funny, but I was texting Jen the other day. I was like, I hate a stop sign. I don't have any reason to hate a stop sign. I just hate it. Because it's just like, it feels like it's in my way, you know? I was like, no stop sign did anything ever to me, but I just hate it. However, it is important for my safety. God makes no man wait unless he sees that it's good for them to wait. That's so good. So in this pause or rest, we are waiting, and I think some of us are kind of like the Egyptians, like freaking out, like, hey God, don't you see, like, these Egyptians are like pretty close, you know? But he knows that it's good for them to wait. We don't know what we're doing or where we're going. We don't know what we've done before, but we're not at our final destination. Doesn't that sound like where we're at right now? Yeah. We know what we've done before. We're not there. We kind of know where we're going, but we're not sure. We're in a place of rest. And it might look dark right now, but God has a plan. He's slowing us down to see the pause and redirection is not rejection. And I'm just going to quote Uncle Bren from his message because this is pretty much what he talked about, but it seemed more fitting to me now where we are than before. I bet he probably gets that from Apostle because he speaks ahead. He said, they don't know why they're doing it, but God has something working behind the scenes for their good. That's us. We don't know why we're doing what we're doing. We're following the apostle. We're following the pastor. And pastor said something last time that I just feel to touch on. He said, if you're not tracking with apostle, you will get easily confused because he is the lead ship that's going a certain way. And it's really easy to look around, almost what you were saying about the ships and the smoke screen. If you're not following and tracking with him. Actually, something else that goes with that, I hope you all don't mind. You know those birds that like fly all together? It's like so cool. I've only seen it like a couple times in my life, like a bunch of birds that just like, they just go wherever, but they all go together. Just the way my brain works, I'm like, how do they not bump into each other? You know, so many birds, how do they not? So I looked it up. So they have a lead, and everyone focuses on the lead, and they don't bump into each other. Isn't that crazy? So you track with the apostle, and you track with the head of this house and the elders, and I'm not saying you won't have issues, you won't whatever, but it's going to be a lot easier for you. This transition, this pause, this rest is going to be a lot easier for you. Uncle Bren said Abba had to stop their progress because there was not a conclusion to what they have come out of, because the fear of it was not out of them. So this pause might look like the enemy's catching up to you, but there's a different end to the story. Exodus 14:13. Moses spoke to the people, "Don't be afraid. Stand firm and watch God do his work of salvation for you today. Take a good look at the Egyptians today, for you're never going to see them again. God will fight the battle for you, and you will keep your mouth shut." So we were talking about some things that we have going on in our own personal lives, and I was like, I don't, and this is something that I think Uncle Bren actually said, but I was like, I don't have the perspective of Abba on this yet. And I think Uncle Bren said, he said, you have to ask him to put a guard over your mouth and pray for his perspective. Because you can talk yourself out of a promise. You can talk yourself out of seeing value in someone else. You can talk yourself out of seeing value in yourself. And so that's something that I've been just praying over the Northgate. I'm almost finished, Joel. Thank you guys for listening. Like I said, it's really, really such an honor for me. Just the people, the promises in this room, like each of y'all are very significant to us and to the kingdom. One evening, I walked in here. Elder Mike had been praying, and I came in. First of all, like, it was so thick in here. And I've done that with so many of y'all. Like, Jen's been in here, Ashley's been here, Hav's been in here, and you just come in, and it's just like, whew, I needed that today. And it's just like, that's on all of y'all. When you bring your oil, he shows up. And you are significant, and your oil is significant, whether it's cleaning the church, whether it's at your workplace, whether it's loving your husband or your wife, your oil is so significant, and you are significant. So anyway, sorry for the rabbit trail again. So I came over there, and I just was just crying, and the Lord showed me a vision of Jesus, and he had a grape. And I was like, okay, a grape. And then it zoomed. And then it zoomed out, and there was a huge vineyard behind him. And he said, if you'll trust me with this, that's what I have in store for you. And that's what I feel like this rest is for the North Gate. All we have to reference is what we've seen before, and that's a good thing because it's protection for where we're going. But if you'll trust him with this, he has a complete, better than you can ask or think or imagine for you and for us as a family. And it's not going to look like what we think it will, and that's a good thing. I have one more thing that my Bible's reading to me. Thank you. Okay. I just wrote this this week in devotion, and it has to go with kind of everything. So I just want you to close your eyes and hear him speak over you. Hear the rhythms of my heart, how it beats for you, consistent. My love is one constant in a world full of variables. This one thing you can trust is always there and always will be. Stop the worry and hear my voice. In the pause, don't be afraid. I'm drawing you close. I'm slowing you down to see the pause and redirection is not rejection. It's pulling you close in protection so you can see where we're headed, you and me. Slow down, my child. Slow down and see. I'm not stopping you to leave you behind. I'm stopping you to clear your mind so you can fully embrace the journey ahead. Great plans I have for you, greater than you can imagine. Fear won't hold you back. I won't let that happen. Let's enjoy the pause today. Beautiful things are on the way. Abba, I thank you for this pause and this rest, that we are a company of rest. And there is a rest, a day that you've ordained for us to enter into that rest, and that's today. And Father, I thank you for rest even more, Father, rest even more. And like Miss Jeanette said, when we finally do take that step, Father, that it's going to be effortless.
Come on, just begin to stand to your feet and pray in the Spirit. If I can get Zach to go turn the lights down. Wow, what an incredible message. You guys said too many things. That was awesome. Two things that really jumped out to me was a while back, if you remember last time Jen preached, she got the revelation that the manna that Joe mentioned, or the manna, however you want to pronounce it. I'm a little French too, Mel. It tastes like honey, but where are they headed? The land that overflows with what? The manna was a foretaste. And every time we take communion and we commune with him, that bread, it says, Jesus said, I'm the bread of life that comes from heaven. We're partaking. Come on, Peter said we are partakers of the divine nature. We're partaking in piece of life that someday we're going to see the complete fullness of. And when Mel said, that carried the bones of Joseph. I mean, how many times have you read through that? I just didn't even think twice that they carried the dreamer with them as a testimony, that his story impacted for 500 years. We can feed on one another's testimony. That's why we come together. That's why we conversate. That's why in home groups we share those stories and we build each other up in the most holy faith. I don't know about you, but I feel encouraged after hearing that. I know after worship we did some things. We prayed for some people going through things. We did all kinds of stuff. So I think it's appropriate tonight that we just come together at the end to give thanks. And I felt as Mel was preaching at the end, I said, man, if there's one thing that's sticking out to me, it's just like, let's come and behold him. Isn't he fascinating? There's so many times I thought I was alone, that I screwed up a little too big, and I was wrong every single time. He was there the whole time. Even if he got quiet on me, he just stood behind me waiting. Whenever you're ready, I'm here. Even in the bar days before I got delivered, I remember hearing a voice. Some of you know that testimony. Like, I don't even know if I believe in God, but I think some just spoke to me. And I got a call from one of my best friends. He's like, I don't think you're crazy. I think I heard the same voice. I'm like, it's time to clean up. Time to get clean. So I want everybody just to come to the front. Come on, if you got your breakthrough earlier in prayer and worship during communion, or if you just something Brother Joe or Sister Mel said to you tonight that just, man, it unlocked you. I want you just to worship tonight with everything in you. Come on, just lift your hands as we begin to sing this. Come on, let's come together, like Apostle says, with the equal measure of thanksgiving of his goodness toward us. Let's come with the equal measure of worship and thanksgiving tonight. Come on, man, as we begin to close tonight out, just lift up your hands and give him thanks. Come on, I'm just reminded of all the times Apostle just reminded us that whenever you're down, whenever you're encouraged, whenever you're discouraged, the key is fascination. To unlock every bit of hope in your life, every bit of wonder, it's so simple. You just shift your focus back at Him. Fascination. How do you do that? Draw near to God, James says, and He'll draw near to you. So, Father, I pray that the invitation to come and behold you tonight will go out throughout the North Gate on the live stream. As we say goodnight, we just bless everyone watching today, and we ask that you have the greatest season of fascination of your life. And may your heart be established by His grace. And may He lock eyes with you and you and Him. And you never turn away. In Jesus' name.